Chapter 10, Recycling Function. Ding! Congratulations to host Ch.10-12 on defeating Big Panther and successfully acting tough. The reward is 10 act tough points. Ding! Congratulations to host Ch.10-12 on defeating Big Panther. The reward is 400 experience points. The system beep sounded in his head. Ch.10-12 froze. What the? I killed someone. Ch.10-12 felt rather astonished as he only wanted to test the power of Soaring Dragon 9 transformations. He was surprised at the fact that it took merely one punch in the first form to brutally kill Big Panther, who had a natural godlike strength. Dragon. This is a dragon, all right. Suddenly, a feeble, trembling voice filled with an expression of fear could be heard. Then, the group of waterback villagers uniformly knelt on the ground with terrified looks as they tremble in fear. They faced Ch.10-12 and pleaded, "Ah! Immortal Elder, Immortal Elder! Please have mercy. We were ignorant, Immortal Elder, please forgive us and let us live." Eh? What's this? Ch.10-12 froze for a moment. Puff! Puff! Before he even knew it, he could hear muffled sounds coming from behind him. Ch.10-12 turned around to look and was stunned. Several Pan Shan villagers, without a care for their injuries, also knelt down along with frightened faces and begged for mercy. Back at Xiao Ru, who froze in her tracks, she had her eyes filled with utter fear. How could this be? Ch.10-12 couldn't swallow the dramatic turn of events. It was understandable that the waterback villagers were kneeling down to him, but witnessing the Pan Shan villagers kneeling to him was intolerable. Especially Xiao Ru, whose eyes were filled with fear. Ch.10-12 was crushed. Fellow villagers, what are you all doing? Get up. I am only dealing with these bad guys. I have no intention to harm you people. He quickly dispersed his chi, followed by the abrupt disappearance of the dragon figure around him. He faced the Pan Shan villagers and called out. The villagers continued to kneel with the same petrified faces. All of them are too scared to speak. Ch.10-12 panicked, looked at Xiao Ru and said, what is happening? Tell the villagers to rise. I don't mean any harm. Xiao Ru regained her attention. After that, she looked at Ch.10-12 with fright and replied, You are an immortal cultivator? What immortal cultivator? I am the same as you people. We are all human. Ch.10-12 was astonished. Was being a cultivator this scary? It seemed like they were worshipping an entity of deity of some sort. Xiao Ru, don't be afraid. I really mean them no harm. Tell me, what exactly is happening? Really? Xiao Ru spoke timidly. Of course. Ch.10-12 nodded. Upon the reply, she became less pale from being frightened and regained her composure. Following that, she explained to Ch.10-12 regarding the immortals. It turned out that to the east of the Pan Shan and Waterback village, there was a group of cultivators called the Celestial Sect. It also turned out that in a 100-kilometer radius, all villages, including the Pan Shan and Waterback villages, were under protection by the Celestial Sect. However, the villages had to offer ration once a month. If a particular village had killed a wild beast, they can use the core of the beast to replace the ration tribute. If under any circumstances, they have neither enough demon cores nor ration to tribute, the village will come under punishment. Celestial Sect's people will personally come to the village and capture several men and bring them up into the mountains. No one will know how and when they died, without any trace. That was the reason the villagers were so afraid of cultivators. After hearing the explanation, Ch.10-12 was brimming with rage. It was clear to him that the Celestial Sect were bullies. They took advantage of the fact that they were cultivators to extort from the villagers, causing them to live in fear. You people never thought of revolting before? Ch.10-12 couldn't help but ask, but when the words came out of his mouth, he felt that he just gave himself a slap in the face. It was a stupid question. No matter how weak, the people of Celestial Sect would at least have trained and went through the Chi refining stage and would have honed their skills to a certain level. The villagers wouldn't have a chance to defeat them. We wouldn't dare. Xiao Ru nodded and replied. She did not, in any way, thought that Shu Qiu's question was stupid. Feeling disappointed with himself, Shu Qiu leaned towards Xiao Ru and said, Xiao Ru, I'll go back home first. Please help to tell the villagers that I am unapproving of the Celestial Sect people. Tell them to get up and not be afraid of me. I really mean no harm to the village. On his way, he met the several men along with the rest. They were late. They saw him and panically asked, Little brother, are you hurt? What happened to Big Panther and company? Ah, I believe you. Xiao Ru nodded profusely and not as afraid of him as before. This made Shu Qiu heave a sigh of relief. He looked ahead at the waterback villagers briefly and said, Oh yes Xiao Qiu, continue to let those waterback people kneel. Tell them not to go until the sun has set. After telling her what to do, Shu Qiu left for the inner part of the village, where men were gathered ready to deal with the waterback villagers. Shu Qiu blocked their path and shouted out, Fellow villagers, there is no need to go anymore. I have already taught them a good lesson and ordered them to kneel and reflect on their actions. Ah, really? The villagers shockingly asked. Shu Qiu laughed and replied, Of course, it's true. I can even defeat the wild beast. Big Panther is nothing. The villagers became cheerful by the minute and exclaimed, That's little brother for you. AYA. I'm flattered. Shu Qiu laughed widely. He loved these moments of subtly acting tough. Back to Xiao Ru's home, Shu Qiu immediately laid on the small, wooden bed and let out a perplexed sigh. He supposed that he cannot talk on such relaxed terms with the men after they discover his identity. They would be too scared to speak with him casually. Hi, never mind, I suppose. I won't be here forever anyway. After I help them on this tribute issue, I will be out of here. I have to explore this vast realm. Shu Qiu regained his spirit and immediately sat up on the bed. He rolled his eyes to signal the system. Immediately, the character information interface popped up in front of him. Host, Shu Qiu. Cultivation stage, Foundation building stage level 1, small progress. Experience points, 602,000. Acting tough points, 15 points. Skill path, beginner's level. Ability, progress 0.1%, control up to first form. Job class, none. Position, consort prince of the East Wilderness, Fire Country. A. The progress of Soaring Dragon 9 transformations became 0.1%. Is it because I just used it? Shu Qiu let out a shocked expression. Apparently, the skill could be progressed via usage. However, the speed of progression is rather slow. He was unpleased with it. After feeling down for a bit, he immediately opened his deposit space and shifted his attention to the bunch of magic and skills he had stolen from the Celestial Sect safe. A good time to give the recycling function a try. Shu Qiu thought aloud and started scanning through the skill descriptions. Lightweight art, A. I could use that. Shall keep it. The first skill book he saw was Celestial Sect's foundational skill. Shu Qiu recalled that he had yet to train on a martial stance type of skill and became excited in the moment. He continued browsing and saw many Celestial Sect-related skills. Fire Cloud Fist, Flame Slash, Dark Fire Sword Art. None of them looks useful. He browsed 10 different skills and shook his head in disapproval one after another. After all, I am in the Fire Country and cultivators here mostly have fire nature spiritual root. People mostly train with fire-related skills. However, Shu Qiu felt that all these skills were too common and weren't Celestial Sect's real deal. He decided to keep the lightweight art skill book and the rest were recycled by the system. Ding! Recycling of successful. Acquired 3 points of skill essence. Ding! Recycling of successful. Acquired 5 points of skill essence. Ding! Recycling of successful. Acquired 8 points of skill essence. Ding! Recycling of. Chapter 11, Crisis descends. A short moment after, the tens of skill books which originated from the Celestial Sect's treasure room were all recycled by Ch.10-12. His deposit storage grids were also mostly cleared up. Furthermore, this round of recycling also caused some changes to his character information. Host, Ch.10-12. Cultivation stage, Foundation building stage level 1, small progress. Experience points, 602,000. Acting tough points, 15 points. Skill path, beginner's level. Ability, progress 0.1%, control up to first form. Essence, skill, 530 points. Job class, none. Position, consort prince of the East Wilderness, Fire Country. An additional description message essence was added. A number of skill books have all been converted into 530 points of skill essence, but Ch.10-12 didn't know if this number was considered large or small. After muttering to himself for a moment, he operated the system and used 10 points worth of skill essence on Soaring Dragon 9 transformations. At the same time, a system message popped up in his head. Ding! Consume 10 skill essence points. Soaring Dragon 9 transformations rank up successful. Current progress, 10%. Ding! Congratulations to host on successfully reaching Soaring Dragon 9 transformation second form. Wow! Dang! 10 skill essence points is able to improve the progress to 10%. That immediately improved Soaring Dragon 9 transformations to the second form. Damn! I've earned it big this time. Ch.10-12's heart was overfilled with joy. At this moment, he used another 90 skill essence points on Soaring Dragon 9 transformations. Ding! Consumed 90 skill essence points. Soaring Dragon 9 transformations rank up successful. Current progress, 100%. Ding! Congratulations to host on successfully mastering Soaring Dragon 9 transformations. All 9 forms can now be controlled. Hong! Ch.10-12 momentarily felt his insides erupting and welling up as if something was trying to escape from his body. Following that, he could vaguely hear a hiss of a dragon, seemingly from the inside of his body. Ch.10-12 opened his eyes wide and quickly focused his attention listening to the sound. However, everything seemed to return to normal. He didn't feel any difference and the sound of the dragon's hiss also ceased. An illusion. Ch.10-12 frowned in suspicion. Dong! Dong! The small wooden door was being knocked, following a creak and a slow push on the door. Xiao Ru had returned. Young Mars. Immortal Elder? Xiao Ru looked at Ch.10-12 while she turned wary and fearful as if she didn't know how to address Ch.10-12 as anymore. Ch.10-12 smiled. Xiao Ru, you don't have to be so formal. I am the same as everyone. The only difference is that I have trained a little. Also, since I am older, you can call me Brother Ch.10-12. Xiao Ru pursed up her lips and contemplated for a moment. Her face then started to blush and she nodded. Brother Ch.10-12, I spoke with the villagers a while ago, but they were not able to accept the fact. Without the need for Xiao Ru's explanation, Ch.10-12 already guessed what she was saying next. He anticipated this to happen and wasn't surprised at all. No big deal. He shrugged his shoulders and spoke nonchalantly. Xiao Ru walked to his front and earnestly explained, I believe that you are a good person. Ch.10-12 felt guilty. Good guy? He didn't think that he was good at all. He felt that he could merely differentiate between the right and wrong things to do. For example, bullying these kind-hearted and well-natured villagers was something he would never do. Though in the case of those waterback village tyrants and even for those celestial sect scums, he would be more than happy to kick their asses. After 2 days, Xiu was still residing in the village and Xiao Ru had given her room up for him. As a result, she would be temporarily staying in one of the widow's house located opposite of her home. During these few days, whenever the villagers saw him, although they did not kneel to him like previously, their actions revealed that they were respectful to him in a reverent manner. They will bow to him every time and ask, "Good day, immortal elder, do you have any orders?" This made Xiu uneasy, which ultimately made him choose to stay at home, learning and honing the usage of the system. However, on this day, Xiao Ru ran in the house all of a sudden. Neglecting her rest, she said in a panic, "Brother Xiu, you must go quickly." Xiu was taken aback. What happened? Xiao Ru anxiously warned, "Big brother Ch.10-12 just returned from town and said that many immortals were holding drawings of you. It seems like you are wanted by them." On his way, he witnessed the waterback villagers revealing your secret to them. "The chief has ordered me to tell you to leave the town before it's too late." "I'm wanted." "God damn it. It must be those people from Celestial Sect." Q became furious immediately. Coming to this world, he had inevitably offended the people of Celestial Sect. On top of that, he emptied their treasure safe. They definitely won't leave it at that. "Brother Q, you have to leave quickly. Those immortals have the ability to fly and they will get here in no time." Xiao Ru urged anxiously while helping him prepare his belongings. Xiu quickly held her tiny hands and shook his head. "Xiao Ru, I cannot go. If I go, what will happen when those immortals start interrogating all of you?" "It's all right. The chief said that those immortals will not do that. Besides, everyone had already gone into the underground cellar to hide. Follow me." Xiao Ru finished and immediately grabbed Xiu's hand as they dashed out. Xiu frowned a little and followed her towards a small cottage near the end of the village. The cottage was old and broken down. Upon entering, Xiu could smell a tinge of moldy air as if it had been vacant for many years. Xiao Ru then walked towards a cabinet. As if she was very familiar with it, she opened it and a path leading to an underground passage was revealed. Xiu froze and couldn't believe that there were such things in this small village. This underground cellar was dug out by everyone to avoid the immortals from taking any of us away. This path leads to the foot of a mountain. Big brother Ch.10-12 and the guys are all inside. Follow me." Xiao Ru was holding Xiu's hand while explaining as both of them are heading in. Upon hearing her say that the fellow villagers were all inside, he had no objections and followed her lead. Although shabbily dug, the underground passage seemed solid and spacious. After some walking, they appeared in front of a crowd. More than 10 villagers were hiding inside. Upon seeing Xiu, everybody harmoniously greeted with respect, "Greetings, immortal." "Hey!" Xiu suddenly realized that there was something amiss. The number of people weren't right. Where are the others? Why aren't they here inside? He anxiously asked. Xiao Ru then explained, "The village chief and other men are guarding the outside. The immortal cultivators will be suspicious if there is nobody at all. Brother Xiu, please go quickly. Don't come back ever again." "No way. I absolutely won't leave," Xiu exclaimed on the spot. He knew that if he were to leave, the innocent villagers will definitely become targets of interrogation. Xiao Ru panicked, "Listen to me. If you don't leave, they will kill you." "Yes, immortal. When we went to town, we saw those wanted posters of you. It wrote that if anyone sees you, they are allowed to kill you on the spot. They only require your corpse to be brought to the Celestial Sect." Ch.10-12 warned. The other villagers also continuously warned Ch.10 to leave at once. Unfazed, Ch.10 felt that with his knowledge of the system and his successful honing of the Soaring Dragon 9 transformations to its pinnacle, if he were to activate his 9th form, even core-bearing stage cultivators would have no chance and will be slaughtered by him. There was nothing to fear. The only worry was that if the old woman from the celestial sect appears. If that was the case, he would have no choice but to use the last beginner's divine escape emblem and bring everybody away from the battlefield. Bang! This time, a loud noise came from the outside and Ch.10 could feel a wave of large tremor under his feet. It seems as if there was a forest landslide outside. Following this, what seemed like an angry scolding could be heard from the outside. What impudence! Where the hell is he? You better quickly hand him over. Chapter 12. Sometimes, toughness doesn't have to be feigned. The faces of the villagers within the underground cellar turned. Not good. The immortals are all coming. Even Xiao Ru looked flustered as she turned towards Ch.10. Brother Ch.10, hurry and flee. If you don't leave now, there might not be another chance. That's right. Xiao Ru is correct. You have to leave quickly and stop delaying it. Immortal Elder, please leave. We can hold on to them. That's right. They're no big deal. We can all fight and resist them. Everyone started urging him anxiously. Ch.10's heart skipped a beat. These simple-minded villagers didn't think of selling him out and betraying him when crisis struck. Instead, they were willing to risk their lives for him to flee. At such a crucial point, if he were to greedily and selfishly run away, would he still be considered a man? Boom! Another loud sound rang out, causing the entire cellar to tremble. It felt as though the entire cellar could crumble down any moment as pieces of debris loosened and fell to the ground. Sounds could be heard coming from outside as well. All of you insects, you have the audacity. All of you are mere mortals and yet you dare to protect and hide the person we're searching for. Following those shouts, the pleas of the villagers outside could be heard from within the cellar. Immortal Elders, please spare us. We really don't know where he's gone to. Yes, Immortal Elders. As soon as we woke up, we've not seen him. He already departed from here. Then you only have to blame your poor luck. Kill them all. Immortal Elders, please spare us. Ah. No. Ah. Village Chief. Soon after, the anguished cries of agony wafted into the underground cellar. Fuck. Cultivators, cultivate your sisters. How could you bear to kill these innocent and simple villagers? I shall fight it out with you guys and kill you to repay for the lives you've taken. Ch.10 clenched his fists, his entire body was trembling in fury. He was thoroughly pissed. He turned around immediately before dashing upstairs. Brother Ch.10, you can't go. Xiao Ru and the rest of the villagers couldn't react in time to restrain him and were too late. Since she couldn't do anything about it, Xiao Ru bit her lips before chasing after him as well. Xiao Ru, what are you doing? Da Zhuang and the rest of the villagers couldn't react in time to hold her back as well. They let out a shout of surprise at her reaction before deciding to chase after her as well. Ch.10 was almost crazed, his eyes were bloodshot as he ran in hot pursuit of the immortals above. Boom! A loud sound rang out. The cupboard which was used as the entrance broke into fragments as Ch.10 charged right through like a crazed beast as he sped towards the entrance of the village. The scene which greeted his eyes was that of a cruel slaughter. Several villagers had fallen and were lying motionless in a puddle of their own blood. Even in death, they maintained a look of utter fear. Many other villagers were on their knees, all kowtowing and begging for their lives. The dozen cultivators were floating atop their flying swords. Their hands were behind their backs as they stood upright and watched the scene down below coldly. At this point, several bursts of fire elemental chi combined together to form a large sword and was about to descend onto the kneeling villagers who were begging for their lives. "Stop it right now!" Xianxia burst out in anger as he rushed towards the villagers. In the split deciding seconds between life and death, he stood in front of them. Bam! He arrived in the nick of time to take the blow of the fiery sword as he sustained severe injuries, but he had saved the lives of the villagers. Blood spurted out from his mouth and stained the ground. Brother Xianxia! Immortal Elder Shu! The villagers were all taken aback. Even the people who had ran after Xiao Ru, Da Zhuang and the rest of them. Just seeing the bravery and selflessness of Xianxia caused their eyes to glisten with tears. All these while, these villagers had always felt like mere ants before immortals. Everyone knew that just a flick of their finger was enough to see them squashed to death. Yet Xianxia was willing to sacrifice his life in order to ensure their safety. He rushed straight out to stop their immortal magic arts and saved their own village people. This selfless act deeply moved the hearts of the villagers. Being touched and the sorrow of seeing their fallen villagers welled together and formed tears which rolled down their faces. Ding! Congratulations to host Xianxia for successfully acting tough. The reward is 50 acting tough points. The system beeped out in his head. Xianxia didn't seem to care about the points as he raised his head and glared at the group of floating immortals. The cultivating immortals blinked several times before recognizing Xianxia. All of them simultaneously laughed out coldly. Ha ha! Looks like the turtle had decided to come out of its shell. If you had came out earlier, all these mortals wouldn't have to die. Although we don't know much about your history, we've heard that you plundered the treasures belonging to the Celestial Sect. We just received the order to kill you. Looks like you shouldn't think of escaping alive today. All the treasures and items which you stole now belongs to us. Keek, but we would never have imagined that you would be selfless enough to give your life up for these stupid commoners. I really don't know if you're stupid or stupid and silly. Ha ha ha. The cultivating immortals whose hands were stained with the blood of the innocent villagers started laughing out manically. They were perched high above as they laughed out mockingly at Xianxia. They took Xianxia for an ant under their feet. All that was needed was to gently step on him to crush and kill him. At this point, Xianxia straightened himself as he raised his head to give a death glare at the immortals above. In the past, I always enjoyed acting tough. Xianxia spoke out suddenly, interrupting their laughters. Although his tone was plain, it bore some sort of power and strength to it as his voice reverberated all across the land. The immortals in the air all paused as they looked at each other, confused. None of them could understand what he meant. The villagers all looked at Xianxia curiously as well, their hearts were clenched in fear. With his palms on the floor, Xianxia stood up gradually. The wounds he had sustained earlier had started to recover from the system's healing option. A smile emerged from the corner of his mouth as if he was laughing to himself. He then continued to speak. It felt good to act tough. However, I know that it's nothing to be proud of. Today, I could have ran away and saved my own life. But I didn't. I chose to stay and stand up for them. Because I know. Sometimes, toughness doesn't have to be feigned. Even if I had to force myself to appear tough, I knew that I had to devote all my energy and strengths to protect and defend them. I know that I'm not a good person, but I've never harmed the innocent. But you people. Xianxia raised his head as his black pupils dilated before he screamed out, "You people are considered dog shit immortal cultivators. You recklessly assault and kill innocent people with your rubbish cultivation techniques. Fine. Today none of you should dream of walking out of here alive." Boom! Immediately after his last word was spoken, Xianxia exploded in a blue ray of light as he shot towards the skies. Roar! The sound of a roaring dragon emerged from within his body, shaking the four corners of the land as the sky turned its color. The ray of blue light charged towards the skies before transforming into 9 dragons as they swirled and danced around each other. All the immortals around were taken aback. What's happening? What skill is this? It actually was able to create such a wave. Could it be an ancient immortal spell that he casted? It must be. Only an ancient immortal spell would have such an earth-shattering effects. The message sent out by the celestial sect said that this person's cultivation level was only at the 10th level of the chi refining stage. Who would have thought that he would progress so quickly to the first level of the foundation building stage? He must have some other treasured items on him. Kill him and acquire his techniques and treasures. Die! Immediately after, all the immortal cultivators had a glow in their eyes as they coveted his possessions greedily. Stepping on their flying swords, they turned into prismatic beams of light and charged towards Xianxia. Ancient immortal spells? The temptation was too great. You're looking for death. Xianxia stood at the same spot as he let out a huge roar. He curled his fingers into a fist and rushed towards the first immortal. Soaring Dragon's 9 transformation, first form. Instantly, a single dragon emerged from among the 9 dragons and dashed towards Xianxia. It then coiled itself around his head before resting on his shoulders. Bam! Xianxia's fist connected with the flying sword of the first immortal, causing it to vibrate violently. At the same time, he was sent back several paces and the immortal riding the sword seemed to remain unaffected. You seem to overestimate yourself. Just a mere foundation-building first-level immortal would dare to fight a core-bearing stage immortal. The cultivator let out a snort as he proceeded onwards to kill Xianxia. Core-bearing stage, who? Sure. Xianxia let out a cold laugh as his gaze turned icy. He summoned all the elements from his 5 spiritual roots and directed it to his soaring dragon's 9 transformation skill. Clenching his fist once more, he charged towards the cultivator. Soaring Dragon 9 transformations, second form, go. Third form. Fourth form. Fifth form. Ninth form, go. In that instant, the 9 dragons swirled around Xianxia's head but didn't rest upon his shoulders. The 9 dragons fused together to form a colossal dragon and wrapped around Xianxia. He then dashed towards that particular cultivator and it looked as if a huge dragon descended down upon the heavens to aid him. An aura of might and prestige seemed to be emitted from the heavens as it cloaked the entire area with its presence. This? How could it be? That immortal cultivator's face turned pale as he could feel the tremors erupting from the might of his skill. An intense sense of fear overwhelmed and crippled him. He wanted to flee but it was far too late for that. Xianxia seemed to have transformed into the huge dragon and his fists resembled the head of the gargantuan dragon as it connected with his body squarely on his chest. That cultivator which was hit didn't even have time to cry out in pain as he disintegrated into ash and dust instantly and not a single bone remained. Everything turned quiet and still. The silence was pin drop as everyone was scared out of their wits and remained still. Ding! Congratulations host Xianxia for subduing and killing a cultivator in the core-bearing stage. The reward is 10,000 experience points. Ding! Congratulations to host Xianxia for successfully acting tough. The reward is 10 acting tough points. The system rang out within his head. Xianxia's gaze swept across his surroundings with sinister. His gaze was fixed upon the nearest few cultivators who were charging right at him before he killed the first cultivator. But the entire group of them were scared stiff and stopped midway. An awe-inspiring core-bearing stage cultivator was actually defeated by a single punch and was vanquished to dust. Fuck! This guy? Is he really a mere foundation-building cultivator of the first level? The bastards from the celestial sect even said that he was still in the chi refining stage but he's almost at the golden core stage full foundation already. How could we hope to defeat him? Hurry and run away. Let's return and inform our sect members. We shall let the sect elders come and take his head off. Instantly, the remaining cultivators acted like babies still sucking milk from their mother as they kicked off their flying swords to flee in different directions. Q revealed a cold smile. I've already said. Today? None of you shall escape alive. Ding! Congratulations to host Q for purchasing. 10 act tough points have been deducted. 3000 volts lightning strike takes on the caster's strengths for maximum effectiveness, low tier skill of earth class. Total of 3 executions, thunder dash, thunder dodge, and lightning haste. Want to keep listening? Find the full novel on Arcwave at arcwave.app. Clean audio chapters and your progress saved across devices.